So, guys, manifestation oftentimes sucks. A lot of times it feels like gaslighting yourself, telling yourself that you have this SP and that, yeah, I get it. You are living paycheck to paycheck, but did you know that you're actually a trillionaire? Did you actually know that you're financially abundant? And yeah, I know that you have to answer to your boss and you cannot give him the middle finger tomorrow when you wake up for your 9 to 5. But gosh darn it, I want you to know that, that's okay. You're actually extremely rich. You can buy yourself all the Bugattis. And yeah, you're actually in Dubai right now. Like, in theory, that sounds like BS, right? It sounds like a manifestation coach is just trying to take your money. But you see, the reality is, I believe that there is a part of you deep down that knows that there is more to this reality than meets the eye. Because you wouldn't be watching this video to begin with, okay? So that's number one. But number two, me, who already knows this wisdom, dealing with countless clients who have gotten SPs who are married, okay? I mean, I have some clients who are manifesting celebrities, okay? And in my own personal experience, like, I've had SPs tell me to my face that I'm not their type, that they never had feelings for me, and the next thing you know, they're just blowing up my phone with nudes, okay? So this whole theory of everything is set in stone and, I have to base whatever the 3D shows me in my bank account that's complete and utter final truth, that's the end all be all. No. Okay? The way that you do this, because I know you're probably thinking, okay, well, thanks for the nice monologue, but how about give me some tips? Well, you see, that's your fucking problem, guys, to be straight up honest, right? This whole impatience of, just give me the quick fix. Just give me the tips. Look, the only reason why I like to get to the fucking point on these videos is not because I think it's healthy for you, but because I've been in your shoes and I pity you guys. Okay? You're like, oh, I don't need your pity, brother. Okay, well then fuck off. Okay? But this is serious business, guys. Okay? You're not going to get anywhere. You're not going to, even if I did tell you a technique that, quote unquote, is the end game of all manifestation sat sessions, or the affirmation that just, makes your SP orgasm tsunamis for you. Even if I was to tell you that if you do it from the wrong state either ways, it will not work. Okay? It just won't work. It's just not compatible. Okay? So it's better that I get you into the state before you start even thinking about affirmations. You see, I'm already tired of y'all's bullshit. Okay? So I want you to, in every second of your day, when you are noticing that you don't have your manifestation, when you're sitting there on the couch and you see that, like, okay, I'm gonna give you an example. Like right now, there's a hot chick that just passed by right there, right? I used to be, when I started out manifesting, right, where I would say, okay, well, since Neville Goddard told me that anything I put on my awareness, it must be. Well, if, the old Neo would look at that hot chick and go, oh, she looks sexy. Even though I've probably never seen her in my life, she doesn't know who I am, and I might not ever see her again, which, by the way, I just manifested her to get out of the damn car again, even though she just went in for like 10 minutes, my stalker ass. I used to look at women like that and go, well, since I already know that anything you put in your consciousness is true, all I got to do is see an imaginal act, and then she'll be mine. But you see, the thing is, guys, is I did that for every woman. Even when I was in a relationship, I did that for every woman. And it got to the point where my ego was like, yeah, dude, you do realize, right, that, like, there's no way you can have all those women, right? And someone's going to say, well, if it's so true that you can manifest whatever you want, then if you want to have all the women in the world, then so be it, right? But you see, the fact of the matter is, I was manifesting from the wrong state when I would do that. I would look at that woman and I would lust. It was coming from the fact that when I was lusting, I was well aware that I needed this validation from these women, right? And I was extremely aware as I became more and more enlightened that the only reason why I even wanted to get that girl, and then I go over here to In-N-Out Burger and I'm like, oh no, this one's hot, right? I have all of them, is because it was never during a time that I was at my peak in my dating game, in my swagger with women. It was always when I felt like there was a drought, right? So what ended up happening was, even though I would do the imaginal acts correctly and I would say, oh, everywhere I go, all these women orgasm for me and they have life-size posters of me on the wall, it didn't work. And not because the affirmation was bad or because the visualization was not detailistic enough, but because I was doing it from the wrong state. Because the only reason why I was even trying to get that girl was because I felt like I needed the fucking confirmation, the validation. And in turn, the only reason why I was doing that with every woman, not one, but every woman, was a fault of the state of lack. Now, someone's going to say, but still, that the point is, Neil Arthos, you put in your consciousnesses, and if it's so true that whatever you put in your consciousness, it has to manifest. But listen to what I just said. The only reason why I even was trying to manifest every hot girl that I saw at the store was because I was coming from this place of lack. Therefore, I was playing the character of Neo that is not a player who gets all the women, but I was trying to manifest as the one who doesn't get any pussy whatsoever. And what I'm telling you guys is, whether or not you can manifest a whole roster, a whole fucking fantasy football team of women, yes, you can. And I've had several women like that, okay? But in reality, I know I do not want 50 women. It doesn't matter how hot they are. What I really wanted was to feel validated, to wherever I go, all the women are looking at me, right? And what's interesting is I have a success story about that, by the way, today. But when I changed to the state of me, of Neo, who has all the women, I wasn't trying to manifest every single woman around, because I knew on a deep level that that was not natural for me to just want to have every woman, right? And so, again, I'm going to pinpoint this fucking thing home. You know, it's kind of like the person who wants not $1 million, not $10 million. I want $100 billion. If it's so true that if I say in my head that I have $100 billion, no matter what the 3D circumstances show, I must get it. But you see, you got to make sure, whenever I hear something like that where it's almost like, okay, why not just say you're financially free? Right? And someone's going to say, you see, you know, you're a false advertisement. It's not true that you can manifest whatever you want. But all I'm saying is, me being a coach, just like a doctor can tell that you're lying to him about the cause of the reason why you have asthma. Like, no, doc, it's just because I was, eating Cheez-Its all day. No, doc, it's because I got stung by a bumblebee. And no, it's because you're smoking pot, you dummy. Can you just put down the fucking bowl for a minute? Okay, I remember I had to sit there with bronchitis, and I had to, my mom was just like, where did this come from? I mean, he was always a good boy in school, like, it's not inherited. I never knew he had all this mucus. It's because your boy was getting high. Okay, smoking those trees, baby. Okay, she found out the hard way because my dumbass ended up getting arrested. But anyways, I can read through the bullshit, and a lot of times you don't want $100 billion. You just want to know what it feels like to never have to work again. Okay, and the thing is instead of being a little goofball, and manifesting from the state of lack, where you're just like, the only reason why you're even saying 100 billion is because you feel like if you don't get 100 billion, if you get less, you just start to confuse yourself. But in reality, if you're just honest with yourself of what you really want and stop playing these games, if you really want $100 billion, okay, that's great. But it's the same thing of like when someone says, I want to be 6'7" and right now I'm 5'5". It's like, do you want to be 6'7", or do you actually just want to, and I swear to God, if you guys say fucking 6'7", like, grow the fuck up, you're canceled. But either way, do you really want to be that tall, or you just want to get the attention from women because you have this perception that you cannot get women until you're a certain height? Guess what? If you manifest and try to get tall from that state of, I believe that unless I'm tall, I cannot get women, a person who was in the state of, I'm abundant with women and women flock to me like bumblebees to a beehive, to honey, you wouldn't even that thought would not even cross your head. So just think about the thought process that went into you deciding that specific manifestation to begin with. Okay, so the quick success story. I was at Hobby Lobby today, and by the way, I haven't ever been there, and I remember seeing them growing up, and I don't know what it was, but I just never been there, right? Well, I went in there. They had all these fucking Marvel posters, fucking statues of Sasquatch. They had the Mona Lisa, playing fucking Minecraft, on the fucking, gaming mic. And I was like, bro, I felt like I reached heaven, right? But one of the things that I also realized is that, it was around the part of town where, I'm not saying it was the bad part of town, but like it was more of like the kind of like rural part of town, in comparison to where I live. And howdy doody, right? But a lot of the women over there were like, hello, right? I was like, I really fucking felt like I was in heaven. We got one of the fucking store cashiers there looking all nice. We had this nice little Latina. I was like, hello, in my head, right? Because I wasn't trying to, I mean, I was actually with my parents today. So I was like, I want to behave myself. I want my mother to still think that I'm a good gentleman, but it was funny because I went in there kind of feeling insecure, and again, I still have a little part of the old Neo that pops up every now and then, who's like, I want all these women to flock to me. And I was seeing all these women, and in Texas they never wear clothes, so I mean, I don't think they even allow pants with the heat, so they were all just dressing all nice, and I was like, fuck, I mean, I'm looking nice with my little ice. You know what I'm saying? And nobody was really checking me out. And I got to be honest, that was one thing I was noticing. So that's not a good thing. Like, if you're like, oh, no one is checking me out, well, you're talking like a person who's a creep. You're talking like a person who's a loser. Why do you even give a fuck about that? Like, you should not even be worried about that. You should know that you are fucking sexy, regardless if they're looking. If they're not looking, it's probably because they're just fucking preoccupied with their shopping list. Or maybe they have a boyfriend and they're trying to be polite, and this would be the fifth time that they cheat on him, and he said one more time and I fucking don't pay the cable, right? So I always say that, by the way, like when a woman doesn't look at me, oh, she has a boyfriend, she just wants to behave herself because she doesn't want to be called a whore in the family like she was previously called with all her ex-boyfriends. But deep down, she really wants to fuck me, right? That's usually what I say, stuff like that. But it's funny, like, I said an affirmation. I think I said something like, all these women want me. But, like, I think I just, what did I fucking say? I think I just said, like, how would I be acting if I knew I got all the attention from women, right? And then I did this natural thing that I do with women when I just feel so, like, aroused by them, and it's almost like I feel the lust coming on. I say to myself, all these women are girls, are just little girls in a costume of a grown adult. They have a father. They used to play My Little Pony and stick Cheeto Puffs in their nose. And when I see that, I see them as a human rather than a fucking object, right? And a lot of the times there's like a feeling of deflation, like the lust, the desire completely goes away, and it's just, I see them like equals. And I swear to God, the moment that I went down there to that level, I looked out of the corner of my eye and there was some fucking MILF, okay? Nice little Latina. And she made eye contact with me, but she not only made eye contact with me, she stayed there for a good 6 seconds, okay? And by the way, someone's gonna say, oh, that's 6 seconds. Dudes, if you look at anybody in the fucking hood for 6 seconds, bro, that you already, I mean, you might not ever see your existence ever again, okay? And I thought she was going to look away. I looked at her and I was biting my lip, and not because I was trying to turn her on, but because I literally had chapped lips. I was like, fuck, dude. Like, literally, it was like right here. I was biting it when I did it, and she looked almost like if she was just hungry, like almost like that look like when they recognized you, right? But I'm not as popular. I only have 200 million subscribers yet, so I'm trying to get to 3 billion, but I don't think she watches the channel. But yeah, dude, like, and then another time I was at fucking the mall right outside of the Hobby Lobby, and there was these two girls. What's up with the Latinas? Two other Latinas. And they're like 10 yards away, and I noticed them out of the corner of my eye. One of them is like waiting for the ride, I guess, and both of them just were like if they just saw fucking Ryan Gosling or something like that. You see, all of this happened when I just made them equals, when I realized they're just a human being. They have parents. You know, we are all children of God. And then I just asked myself, like, how would I be acting if I'm already chased by women? And literally, it's the same way. It's like you just detach, right? But anyways, this fucking video is turning into another Avengers Doomsday. If you guys want any deep advanced help, look no further. The links are in the description. And subscribe to the channel membership, and you get discounts to all the consultations. Links are all in the description. I love you guys.